Okay, so for anybody who's watching this just now, my name is Jonathan Clark. I'm an author, speaker, coach, and NLP trainer. So Garth and I got together because Garth attended one of my NLP training courses. I have the photographs of that course. I was looking at them the other day on the computer. I seem to recall a giant hairy haggis as part of that course as well. But that's a whole different story. Yeah, so you impressed me because of your energy, because of your drive, because of your history, your background, your qualifications. And it just struck me at the time that you had a lot to offer people, and that's kind of what you were doing with the lifestyle guy.
Yeah, well, the lifestyle guy was more or less born from our meeting together, I think, because we started talking, and we actually carried on our conversation after the practitioner's course, and became very good friends after it. And I think it was you that helped me formulate the identity of the lifestyle guy, and he's been with me ever since.
Very cool. And I've kind of kept in touch over the years, and kind of come and go a wee bit. But the nice thing about friends is it feels as if no time has passed. You know.
No, exactly. Than we did before.
And we got our heads together in February and decided to do some stuff together. And tonight's kind of part of that, because I just thought it'd be really cool to get you on a live webinar, get you in front of people, and share some of your knowledge and your information. Tonight we're going to specifically be looking at visualization techniques. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to talk about creative visualization, and there's so much stuff out there about creative visualization, and I think people have the wrong idea about it. Probably thanks to mainly that DVD that came out years ago. The Secret, and it kind of told you about creative visualization, but it actually didn't give you the secret of how to do it, which I thought was very clever marketing. But it did give you an idea of what could happen with the creative visualization, and it was about thoughts become things. That's very true. And at the time, I didn't really believe it. I thought, well, it kind of made sense, but I didn't put it into practice. But as the years have gone by, and I've started, it's not that I've started to creative visualize, I always have done, but I didn't realize I was visualizing creatively until I started getting into creative visualization. I thought, hang on a minute, I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's really worked for me. But there is a secret that's missing that a lot of people don't know about, and it's not just about sitting there visualizing. You can sit there all day long visualizing your life away, and all you're going to get is a numb backside. What you need to do, every kind of creative visualization has got to be backed up by some form of action. So it's always got to be action orientated, because action creates momentum creates results.
I like that. A lot of people have watched The Secret, or they've got into law of attraction. And this whole idea that there's you at point A, and there's what you want at point B, and there's a gap in between. And if I think happy thoughts, I think nice things, and magically this stuff is going to appear in my world. And my attitude to that is, well, that's a good start, and it's certainly a lot better than what the majority of the population do, because they just focus on doom and gloom. But it's not enough. The biggest part of the word attraction is action.
Yeah, exactly.
It's what you do that counts. So I think you have to kind of meet the universe halfway.
It has always got to be action oriented. You can't just be. Was it? The analogy I like to use as well, because as you know, I used to be massively into bodybuilding, and Arnold Schwarzenegger was always one of my favourites, along with Franco, his training partner. And he always used to have a favourite saying about going for the burn. And people always used to talk about going for the burn. And I used to love the analogy and putting it towards creative visualization, because people visualize, and like I said, all you're going to get is a numb bum. And Arnie said, I can give you a burn with putting a lighted match under your arse. But unless you actually get out there and exercise and feel that burn in your muscles, you are not going to actually grow. And it's the same with creative visualization. You have to take action. You've got to make things happen, to feel that burn in real life, to actually put events into place, and to create those things that you want in your life. And thoughts are real things. I'm just trying to think of that famous footballer who used to play for Man United years ago, the French guy who did the advert for the Seagulls. Do you remember him? What's his name? Oh, he was one of United's main strikers, and probably like 10-15 years ago. And he talked about how energy was very real. And when the crowds were really booing him and kind of jeering, he said that energy was so palpable, it almost felt like a wall of hate, and he could feel it draining his energy. And yet he said, when the crowd used to cheer for me when I did something fabulous, it just fed my energy, as though I had wings on my feet and I could actually fly. So you can't you can't underrate the power of energy, and it's massive. And your brain patterns, your brain waves are all energy. They're all energy orientated. So it makes sense that if you program that brain with positive thoughts, with positive energy, you're actually creating positive energy around you, and you're projecting that energy, and you're also attracting energy towards you. You know, positive energy. One of my favorite sayings is that if you're a super confident person, or you wear you wear your confidence like a shield of invincibility, nothing bad ever comes towards you. You know, if you're confident, if you project that confidence, if you project positivity, 99.9 times out of 100, only positive things come back to you. And because you are wearing your confidence and your positivity as a shield of invincibility, all that negative stuff bounces off.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate there, because a lot of people would say, well, that sounds all very well and good, but you know, when the fertilizer hits the ventilator, when
Yeah,
when the bad stuff hits the fan, you know, it's hard to be positive, it's hard to be upbeat, it's hard to kind of keep that front up. So are you
absolutely.
faking it? Are you blagging it?
No, you know, attitude is a state of mind, isn't it? I'm talking about this from a place of experience, you know, because one of my favourite sayings is I'm never going to be an armchair expert or a pocketbook philosopher. You know, everything I've done, everything I've practiced, everything I've created has been from experience. Yeah, sure, I've been on courses, you know, because I wanted to go on courses that I actually had that paper qualification. I said, yeah, this guy knows what he's talking about. But the big plus I bring to any party is my experience. You know, and if you read my book, 20 Plenties Challenge, I talk about how as a young man, and I call it the aftermask in my book, but when I look on it in reflection, it was really creative visualization. I was visualizing my life how I wanted it, even though I didn't realize it in my 20s, and I was creating that stuff because I was just putting it out there. And to me, there was it was almost like tunnel vision. There was no way that could fail. You know, I wanted to be my own boss at 22. I wanted to be married at 25. I wanted a Ferrari at 30, and all those things happened because I willed it in my mind. I saw it, and I saw it every single day. I used to go to bed at night thinking of running my own business. I used to go to bed at night thinking about having one or maybe two motorbikes. I used to go to bed at night thinking of running a business and having about 30 or 40 people. I used to go to bed at night thinking of owning and driving a Ferrari. And at the age of 22, I set out and ran my own business. I was married at 22. I bought my first Ferrari at 23, and I bought my first motorbike when I was 24. And that's not to sound flash or kind of in your face. It's just to show you with creative visualization, with putting it out there, but also allied with a mission and a purpose and consistent discipline, you can achieve anything you want to in life. It's just out there to be grabbed. But you're quite right. Life can sometimes get in the way. When I was in my 20s, there was nothing to get in my way, really. You know, I was a young man hell bent on being successful, and success to me at that time was marriage and material goods and money in the bank. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. And that was my sole purpose. But you know, 20, 40 years later, or 45 years later, I think now, you know, with a divorce behind me, a company liquidation, clinical depression, you know, I've been there. I know that you can't always be upbeat, you can't always be positive, and you can't always wear that shield of invincibility. Sometimes you cower into the cloak of vulnerability. And that doesn't make you a bad person, you know. Sometimes you've got to take shelter in that and just feel snug and warm and think, okay, the world's out there doing its stuff, but I'm here in my cloak of vulnerability, and it actually feels nice. It doesn't feel vulnerable, it actually feels nice. So yeah, I see your point. You can't always be upbeat. You can't always be positive. However, it's just as easy, and I've only found this with practice, to be positive and have positive thoughts as it is to be negative and have negative thoughts. It takes no more effort.
Yeah, I think that's what it boils down to in my head. Even if you're kidding yourself on, even if you are, you know, deluding yourself, I think there's a lot more to be gained by being positive. You're going to be a lot healthier. You're going to get a lot more done. You're going to achieve more. You're going to be happier inside, and people are going to want to be around you. No one wants to be around the whiner and the complainer and the bitcher. You know, everyone wants to be around people who are driven and motivated. It's attractive in more ways than one. So I think it's always the best bet. You are running put movies in your head all day long. You are talking to yourself in your head all day long. I'd rather have a cheerleader than a gremlin.
You know, absolutely, and you know, when we talk about those energy vampires as well, you know, there's enough people around you ready to bring you down and actually suck on your life energy and actually bring you down. So you've got to be wary of those people because you know to be positive, to be focused, to stay positive and focused, you do need a positive energy around you, and you can exude as much confidence and positivity as you want. But if you're in an environment that isn't fertile to that, you can, unless you're a very strong person and a very strong personality, you can actually have that energy drained out of you. So it is very careful. You've got to be very careful. And like we're saying, you know, negativity is over here, positivity is over there. When you wake up in the morning, are you going to go to negativity? Are you going to go to positivity? And like it takes no more energy to go to one as to t'other. You know, and if you wake up in a bad mood and then you carry that bad mood throughout the day, I mean, you know this, Jonathan, don't you? I mean, what happens? You have a bad mood all day long. That bad mood doesn't go away. It translates into a bad day. But if you're living, and it's about living at cause and effect, isn't it? If you're living at effect, you're a victim of life and life's events, and you blame everything that's happened in your life on life itself and events. If you live at cause, you take responsibility for everything that happens in your life. And okay, you might wake up in a bad mood, but you're going to have a shower, you might do some exercise, you have a great breakfast, and the world's okay with you. And I try and do that every morning. I've had a ritual every single morning for the last 20 years. Since my life crashed and burned, I try and do a creative visualization, stroke gratitude, come exercise ritual. It takes me no more than 10 or 15 minutes every single morning. And no matter what mood I wake up in the morning, it sets me on what I like to call the path to glory.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Actually, that's really weird. Okay, and it's true though that no matter what your background, no matter what your past, no matter what your history, by running positive movies in your head, by running in positive dialogue in your head, you're kind of putting a new layer on top of everything. You're kind of playing a different song in your jukebox.
Yeah, but exactly right. And I'm glad you mentioned that because the thoughts you play in your mind every day are thoughts and patterns that you created over the years, and you've got used to it. It's like you wear your favorite pair of shoes every single day, or you wear your favorite jacket. You get used to that feeling of comfort, and those thoughts and processes in your mind are playing every single day. And if you're having negative thoughts every single day, or you're having not quite so positive thoughts, guess what's going to manifest in your life? Negative things, because you do not know how to get out of that thought pattern. And the analogy I like to use again is if you walk down a grass lawn every single day of your life for 5 years, you are going to wear a path in that grass that leads down to the bottom of your garden, right? And your thought patterns are the same. So if you wake up in the morning and you think the same thoughts, you're going down that one path in the grass that's going to take you straight to the root of negativity, or the root of your negative thoughts. However, if you decide, well, instead of going down this path today, I'm actually going to do a circuitous route, and I'm going to go through the woods, I'm going to go over those rocks, and you're going to create a different pathway. And changing those thought patterns are exactly the same. I think you said many years ago, it's like having a CD played in your brain that goes round and round and round, and you're playing the CD on rerun and replay constantly. And what NLP does, or creative visualization, it gives you the ability to take that CD out of your head, get a great big nail, scratch it across that CD, put it back in your brain, and those thought patterns can never play the same in your head again. And you have then taken control not only of your thoughts, but your destiny as well.
I love it. I love it. And I think in a world full of well, I don't want to date this webinar, but in a world full of political issues, countries threatening each other, scandal, riots, terrorism, there's an awful lot of things that are out there that if you let them can scare you. And if you focus on all the things that could go wrong, then you're going to create a lot of fear and anxiety. And then before you know it, you start drawing that stuff towards you. A friend of mine once said, you don't get what you focus on, you get what you vibrate. So
yeah, no, exactly. And the world is a scary place, isn't it?
Well, it can be, and your world will be a scary place if that's what you focus on.
Yeah, I know people, I have conversations with people during the day sometimes, and you can tell what programs they're watching by the conversations you have with them. And it's nearly all politically based, or it's all about, like you said, we won't go into details because, like I said, we don't want to date the webinar, but they are feeding the fear that the media is spoon-feeding us on a daily basis. And again, we can get quite politically, but we don't want to. So it's about creating your own internal world and not letting those external influences affect you in a negative way, because negative, outside influences can only affect you if you let them. When people say to you, that woman really upset me, or that man over there really upset me with the way he looked at me, or the things he said to me, and in reality, that person or those events cannot affect you. They can't upset you. It's only because you have allowed them to affect you that they can have an effect on you. So, external influences do not have to have an effect on you. It's about how you're switched on and how you're programming yourself and how you're looking at those events.
That's why they call them television programs.
Yeah.
Every society is sitting watching this box in the corner of their house.
I'd like to touch on as well, because we're going to be talking. We're going to actually be doing a cool creative visualization exercise before we finish off. Is the fact that a lot of people don't realise that in our everyday life we only actually use our conscious brain, and you're very aware of this. And your conscious brain is only responsible for 5% of your actions. For getting up in the morning, tying your shoelaces, brushing your teeth, going to work. 95% of everything that happens in your life, what happens in your life, what guides you in your life, is your unconscious mind. And 95% of that brain is completely and utterly untapped. People aren't even aware of it. So being able to tap into that 95% and creative visualization, obviously to do that, is a very, very powerful tool to use and to have.
Okay, so let's get into stuff, because you and I are both into practical stuff that we can use right now that makes a difference. So what are some of the rules of the game when it comes to visualization? What do we need to do? Is our process, are there stages? How do we start this whole thing?
It's like a little ritual, really. I mean, one of the best ways to prepare yourself for creative visualization, because creative visualization is very, very simple in effect. You do it every single day. If you fancy a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, the first thought comes, I fancy a cup of tea. So what do? You get up, you go and put the kettle on, you let the kettle boil, put some coffee in a cup or a tea bag in a cup, you pour the water on it, 5 minutes later you're drinking your brew. That's creative visualization. You've actually thought, you conceived the thought, you wanted to achieve it, and because you've done it, you've actually made it happen. And creative visualization is very much the same. And one exercise I like to get people to do, which is really simplistic, just to get them primed for creative visualization, is to have a glass of water on your bedside cabinet. I don't want you to sit there and watch a TV program for maybe an hour or maybe 2 hours. But while you're watching it, I want you to think about that glass of water, about what the water looks like in the glass, about maybe there's some condensation on the outside of the glass, what that glass looks like on that bedside cabinet. And then visualizing yourself actually walking down to your bedroom, picking up that glass and taking a sip of that water. And then feeling the sensation of the water filling your mouth, going down your throat, and then eventually just drinking that glass of water and then just putting it down on the bedside cabinet. And because you've been salivating about that glass of water for the last hour, the last half an hour, it's setting those neural pathways in place, ready to get your mind in the right place to actually go and creatively visualize. And it's about spending 5 minutes or 10 minutes with yourself. And again, in my book, 20's Plenty program, I talk about living within yourself. When you live within, you tend to kind of harbor all those negative feelings and stuff like that. But when you live without yourself and you open yourself up to the big world, to the universe, all of a sudden kind of magic happens. And preparing your mind, preparing your body for a creative visualization is that. So it's about having time to yourself, not necessarily retreating within yourself. I want you to get in touch with your inner self, your inner power, your inner universe, your inner spirit guide, but I also want to be able to project your spirit, or what's a better word, your energy out into the universe, because it's out of the universe where that creative visualization is going to work. I like those dudes.
No, thank you. No, great. I'm just I've never heard that before, and I really, really like that. I think the glass of water technique. Essentially, you're visualizing something that you want. You're then manifesting it and making it real in a real five sense kind of provable, tangible, physical way that your unconscious mind can feel and experience and knows it's true. So effectively, you've just taught it. Here's what I want. Here's what I want to try, and minutes later, it's real. Effectively laid down that path.
Yeah, exactly right.
You've just set up.
And you know, it's
I love that.
it's exactly right. It is about priming the unconscious mind or the subconscious mind to do your bidding. You know, and I found out many years ago, because I mean, everybody watches this and will follow me on social media and know I'm into my exercise. I've always been into the physical side of life. But I discovered many years ago through exercise how my mind was limiting me in some cases. Because when I first got into kickboxing, you know, I was weak. I didn't know what to do. I was uncoordinated. And I used to look at those green belts as a white belt thinking, well, when I get my green belt, I'm going to be awesome. And you know what? I got my green belt and I still felt like a beginner. I thought, when I get my purple belt, I'm going to be awesome. And I got my purple belt and I still felt like a beginner. I got my brown belt, you know, when I saw this brown, I thought, when I get that brown belt, that is going to be it. That window is going to open. It made no difference. I felt more coordinated and I felt fitter. It was only when it was my grey belt with one black stripe before my black. That's when the window opened for me, because I was told I had to do 150 press-ups for that particular grading, and I could only do 70 at the time, and I had 2 months, and I thought, how am I going to do that? But even then, by saying to myself, how am I going to do that? I was setting limiting beliefs in motion. I was setting preconceptions in my mind that I can't actually do this. But as I practiced daily, I found myself getting stronger and stronger. And I actually did not only 150 press-ups, I did 175 press-ups, and that did a real number in my brain. I thought, how the bloody hell? 2 months ago, I could only do 75, and now I've done double that plus. And I knew it wasn't just my body that had changed; it was my mind. Something that clicked in my mind. And after that, I didn't even let my mind kind of get in the way. When Sensei was saying you have to do a jumping spinning kick in the air, I thought, oh, I'm going to do it, and I just did it. Because of those lessons I learned in the dojo or in the gym, when I wanted to increase the weights and I wanted to get stronger, I wanted to get bigger, it was about adding weight on that bar and not being fearful of it, you know, not having any preconceptions, not having any limiting beliefs, and just going for it. And the more I progressed in the gym, the more I progressed in the dojo, it did a real number on my mind. I thought, you know what? I'm forging my body in the iron will of my discipline here, and I'm making it do things I never thought was possible. So, it's about 3 months after I got my black belt, I started going into meetings with a different mindset. I was going in there thinking, I'm going to own this room. I'm going to be so confident. I'm going to be so positive. I'm really going to, and my business grew exponentially. In the next 2 years, all of a sudden, I was employing about 75 people. My little group of companies with this agency I was working with was turning over £7.1 million a year. And I doubled that in like the 2 years when my mindset started to change. And nothing changed apart from the fact I was going into meetings with a different attitude. I was looking at things with a different attitude. And it did a real number on me then. And I just knew with that mindset, with the power I had within my own body, the power I had within my own mind, that nothing was going to stop me. And at that time, it actually didn't.
It's funny because I've done a lot of training in the gym over the years, and I've played with that where, you know, rather than look at my last number of repetitions that I did and the weight I did, I just go in, I put the weight that I know it should be or higher, but I don't look at the reps. So I've no idea if I did 10 last time or 20 last time. I've no idea. So I don't have that inherent ceiling. You know, if I did 20 last time, my brain's going to go, well, you can only do 22 this time. So, and it's interesting how often you might batter out 25, 30, you know, and you're like, how's that possible? You know, but sometimes this can be your biggest enemy. You know, I'm just saying the demons aren't outside. The demons are in there. And
no, exactly. You know, like, one of my sayings again. Well, it's not one of my sayings. I've probably borrowed it from somebody, but I like to think it's mine. You know, the body will always follow where the mind leads, and it's completely and utterly true. You know, it's like I said earlier. You know, even I'm not an automaton, and some days I do have a bad day, and my body will follow where my mind leads. If I do get up, and if I fail to do my little morning ritual, or I don't fulfill it sometimes, it doesn't always click with me, and I find it a little bit hard to come back sometimes from that. So, you know, the thing is not to beat yourself up, is to have some goals, is to have an action plan, is to be goal orientated, and you must be very goal orientated with your creative visualization as well. So before we get to the creative visualization, for anybody who's watching this, I want you to think, first I want you to find some space for yourself. I want you to find some time for yourself. This isn't going to take us more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. But I want you to, every single day, to find some time for yourself. So if you're washing the dishes or looking after the kids, this is not the place for you. You've got to find some time for yourself. You've got to sit quietly, and I want you to set a goal for yourself, whether that goal is physical, whether it's mental, whether it's to do with work-life balance, whether it's to do with losing weight or gaining weight, getting fitter, whatever that goal might be. I want you to set that goal. I want you to set that goal in your mind before we start this process. So Jonathan and I will just chat for a minute or so, and then I want you to think about that goal, and I want you to think about how you're going to look, feel, and what you're going to hear when you've got that goal. So that's your exercise for the next 30 seconds.
Okay, while the guys are doing that, let me assure you, I'm not going to be chatting to you. I'm going to be using this excuse to get a goal of my own set. So you're in charge, but I've got an idea of something I want to do. So
brilliant. Okay.
Let's use this time.
So we're going to go. So all I want people to do is just relax. So sit quietly or lie quietly. It doesn't matter where you are or what you're doing. Just stop what you're doing. Give yourself at least 5 minutes. This is time for you. Close the door. Turn the lights off if you want to. And just kick back and relax. And all I want you to do is just listen to my voice. And as you're listening to my voice, I want you to imagine just breathing through your nose. Breathing in deeply, not to your chest, but breathing right into your tummy. Breathing in deeply. And as you breathe out, I want you to breathe out through your mouth and whisper the word. Breathe in through your nose. And then out through your mouth again, whispering that word in your breath. Good. And breathe in through your nose. And out through your mouth. And every time you take a breath in, I want you to imagine your body just filling up with a source of positive energy. And it doesn't matter where that source of energy is coming from. Imagine it's coming from your higher self, coming from the universe, or whatever your belief system might be. But every time you breathe in, imagine that energy filling your body, filling every cell of your body. And every time you breathe out and you whisper that word on your breath, I want you to imagine a different muscle part of your body just beginning to relax just a little more with each breath that you exhale. And just focus on my voice to the exclusion of all of the sounds around you. Just listen to my voice, focus on your breathing, and just let's go on a journey. And I want you to ask yourself, what specifically do you want? In relation to your goal, what specifically do you want? And then I want to ask you, in the present tense, in today, where are you now? In relation to this goal, where are you now? And then I want you to see, hear, and feel when you have this goal, as though you've got it now. And I want you to make it really compelling, really juicy. And I want you to imagine it in your future. And your future is over there in front of you. It might be 2 feet in front of you, might be 3 feet in front of you. It might be floating above your head. Wherever your future is, I want you to imagine seeing yourself over there, achieving that goal, stepping into that goal, seeing it, hearing it, and feeling it. And then I want you to ask yourself, how will you know when you have it? How will you know when you have this goal? What will this outcome get for you? And what will it allow you to do? So what will this outcome get for you? And what will it allow you to do? And then ask yourself, is it only for you? Is it just for you? And where, when, how, and with whom would you like it? Do you want to share it with somebody? Is it just for you? And then what do you have now? And what do you think you're going to need to achieve your outcome? Have you ever done this before? Do you know anyone who has? And could you act as though you already have it? Is that possible for you? Could you act as though you already have it? Then we've got to make sure that this goal is congruent with your life, that it fits in with your life plan, with your personality. So you've got to ask yourself, for what purpose do you want this goal? For what purpose do you want it? And what will you gain? Or what will you lose? when you have it. See yourself over there with this goal. You've achieved it, and then ask yourself, what will happen if you get it? What will happen if you get this goal? And then ask yourself, what won't happen if you get it? What won't happen if you get it? And then, another magic question, what will happen if you don't get it? What will happen if you don't get it? And finally, what won't happen if you don't get it? What won't actually happen if you don't get it? And now, continue your breathing pattern, breathing in through your nose, and imagine that energy, that universal energy, filling your body. And every time you breathe out now, I want you to imagine, see that energy coming out of your body, whether it's coming out of your nostrils, out of your mouth, out of your fingertips. But I want you to imagine, every time you breathe in, your body is filling up with this magnificent energy. And every time you breathe out, that energy is coming out from your fingertips, coming out from your eyes, coming out from your toes. And if this energy has got a colour, let it have a colour, whatever colour it might be. There's no right or wrong colour. It might be yellow, it might be green, it might be blue, it might be red, it might be pink, whatever that colour is. Doesn't matter. Fill yourself up with energy, and as you breathe out, imagine breathing it into that image over there, that image of you achieving that goal. Imagine that image beginning to glow, getting brighter and brighter, and every time you breathe into it, it's getting even brighter, and it seems to be growing, it seems to be doubling in size. You can see yourself smiling, you can see yourself looking really happy achieving that goal. You're looking magnificent, and you can hear people applauding you for achieving this goal. Doesn't it sound magnificent? If you have a favourite tune in your head, imagine that tune playing now, playing really, really loudly in your head, and you can see that image going brighter and brighter. You can turn the volume up now to that tune. Turn it right up, you can hear that tune playing. Imagine that energy filling up that image of you over there, filling it up, filling it up. You can feel it. You can really feel yourself having that goal. And as you do, imagine now floating out of your body, floating down that energy field and into that you now, into that future you. Step into that you and feel it. Whoa! Hear that applause of the people around you. Feel the emotions that you feel. Turn up those colours. Turn up the sound. Feel it. Experience it. This is you. You've achieved your goal. It's magnificent. How good do you feel? How good do you look? Hear that applause around you. People are applauding you for achieving this goal. It is awesome. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And breathe into it. Breathe it in, and imagine it filling every cell in your body. Every cell in your body, and filling it with whatever colour you want it to fill up with. Experience it, take it all in, and then slowly but surely I'm going to count down from 5 down to number 1. And when I get down to 1, I want you to slowly but surely start to come back into the room, back into your reality. 5, 4, becoming more and more aware of your body, becoming more aware of your surroundings. 2, becoming awake now. And 1, wide awake and back into the room, back into reality. Welcome back, Jonathan, and anybody else who's listening in.
That was good.
It's very powerful, creative visualization, because it switches you off and it takes you out of your body and into the world that you want to be. It's like stepping in between universes and stepping into that universe where your future lies, you know, where your goals lie. And it's a great place to be. You know, I was likening it to, you remember that movie, Peter Pan, the original cartoon? When Peter, to make people fly, to sprinkle pixie dust on them and they would fly. I think it's like sprinkling pixie dust on people, creative visualization, and it just gives you the wings to fly. And, you know, my kids are they're my pixie dust. Whenever I think of Josh and Amy, my son and daughter, it's as though I've been sprinkled with pixie dust, and all of a sudden my mind is just filled with happy thoughts. And I just liken creative visualization to that.
It's a very powerful thing, and I think, you know, people are looking for magic bullets. People are looking for the next guru, the next sweat lodge, the next, you know, magical seminar that's going to fix them. And all you ever learn about, having done 25 years of seminars and CDs and gurus, is more about yourself. And you realise that it's all about you. You know, you're the one. You're the guru.
It is all about you, isn't it? When all said and done, and it's nothing about being self-centered or anything. It is about discovering the inner you, getting in touch with that inner you. And I don't know what people's religions are, but they always say that the greater part of you is a reflection of God or the universe within you. And that is exactly right. You were made in the image of a being, whatever your belief systems are, that is greater than you, whether it's the universe, God, Buddha, Allah, whatever it is. But you are a reflection of that greater power. And many people just don't tap into it.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm still tranced.
Well, that's good. Anybody else who is blissed out there and would like to work with me one-to-one, I'm available. I usually only work with half a dozen clients or so. I now have spaces for 2 other people. So if you would like to work with me, you can email me at garth@garthdelikan.com, and we can do 4 half-hour sessions a week, and I charge a monthly fee. So if you're interested in that, please come and please message me, and I'll be happy to talk to you. You can also buy my book, The 20 Plenties Plan, and that's on Amazon under 20's Plenty. But we can also post a link on this webinar, can't we, Jonathan, to the book?
Yeah.
And we also have a membership site on Facebook. So there's lots of ways you can interact with me. There's lots of ways you can work with me, and I would love to see you at a future event.
And I would recommend anybody who's watching this right now, Garth's a very cool dude to work with. He's very good at what he does. People have rave reviews about him, and I've seen him in action as well. I've got personal experience for him. I teach a lot of this stuff, but I've learned things today that I've not heard before, and I really enjoy that. I'm going to go and practice visualizing my glass of water. I'm
going to visualize my dinner, I think, for this evening.
I love it. Excellent. Listen, thank you for your time. Always a pleasure. And this webinar replay. So anybody can watch this as often as they want. I would use this as your CD. Use this as your visualization guided meditation, because you can play this over and over again and let Garth lead you through this process. Please do use this stuff. Thank you for your time, Garth. And
have a good evening, Jonathan.
Take it easy.
Good night, everybody. Or good day, wherever you are. Bye for now.
Wherever you are.